Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. You'd never expect Childe to be early to a meeting, and yet here he is, lounging in the room like he owns the place. You blink, pausing in the doorway, and he turns and waves. Oh, hey. Didn't think I'd see you here. Where's Arlecchino? She'll be along shortly. You reply, stepping into the room, and he watches you with interest. Didn't know she traveled with company now. Not like her to keep a civilian at her hip. You raise an eyebrow. You think I'm a civilian? Childe grins. No. But compared to her, most people are. You don't reply. Instead, you walk to the table, taking the seat beside him, and he watches your movements like he's trying to solve a puzzle that he didn't know existed until 10 seconds ago. She didn't tell me she was bringing someone, he says, more to himself than to you. She doesn't tell people a lot of things. You reply, and at that, he chuckles. You know, you're right. She sure has a habit of keeping her cards close. And before you can answer, the door opens, and Arlecchino steps in, expression as unreadable as ever. But her eyes find you immediately. There is a flicker of softness, one that you catch. You always do. She takes her place at the head of the table, nodding toward him. Tartaglia. Lord Arlecchino, he replies, polite, but easy, and she nods once more, then glances between the two of you. I'll be back in 5. You can handle the debrief. And just like that, she leaves. The door clicks softly shut behind her. Childe leans back in his chair slowly, eyeing you again. And his smile sharpens into something curious, even though he's utterly confused, because it's not usual that Arlecchino would relay something like this to one of her subordinates. Unless this was different. Unless you weren't exactly the sort of subordinate that he suspects you to be. Huh. You raise an eyebrow. What? That look. The one she gave you. I don't think I've ever seen her look at anyone like that. Not even the kids. You shift. It's not what you want to think. He tilts his head. Are you sure? Because I think you two are together. And now that I think about it, I saw her give a similar look once. To a dagger she trusted. Just before she jammed it into a trader's ribs. It was kind of entertaining to watch. He snored. That sounds about right. Well, except this time. She looks almost fond. I don't really think this is like her. At all. You meet his gaze. Fine. We are together. Happy now? Silence. And you can practically hear the gears turning in his head. No way. Yes. No way. Yes way. He blinks rapidly, then bursts out laughing. Loud, genuine, and so startling that you glance toward the door just in case she is returned. You're not entirely sure how she'd feel about Childe finding this hilarious. You, her, really? Yes, Childe. He holds his hands up in mock surrender. Sorry. It's just of all people. I never thought you would be her type. Or that she even had a type. I never imagined this. He smiled faintly. Maybe she needs someone a little bit different. Someone who contrasts what she is. He quiets at that. There is a beat, a pause, and then he studies you. Thoughtful. You know, I don't think I've ever heard her talk about anyone outside of missions. Never seen her soften. Not once. She doesn't do it often, you admit. But it's there. He nods. I believe it. Now, you glance at the door again. I know what you're thinking. That I'm going to be a liability to her. A weakness. Child shakes his head, surprisingly. No, actually. I was thinking the opposite. You blink, and he leans forward, resting his arms on the table. Expression surprisingly gentle. She is terrifying. And she's strong, yeah. But being strong all the time, alone all the time, that eats at you. I should know. Your throat tightens. She doesn't let people in, but she lets you in, and that's huge. You look down at your hands. It wasn't easy. And I wasn't aware that the two of you were close. We're not close. It's a bit weird. But she's one of the few harbingers that I can talk to. I'm happy for her. You look up, startled. I mean it. She deserves someone who sees her, you know, as she is. More than just a knave. Someone who sticks around anyway. He smiles softly. I do. And he returns the smile. Then keep doing that. And footsteps echo down the hall. Arlecchino's coming back. And once he leaves and you tell her the news, that he knows, and what he thought as well. She just sighs softly, smiling a little bit. Remind me to spar with him later. See if I can punch that sentiment out. You can't help but laugh, but it's nice to know that there's someone out there who sees her as a friend, somewhat. Even if the harbingers were a little bit tricky and difficult. And you're quite certain that this kind of experience is the best one you'll ever have with them.